Let's get right into the VOD. Thank you, Keemstar. Anyway, so just like yesterday, we're going to not talk too much about the picks and bans, maybe a little bit here and there. I could tell you guys kind of what I think about things. We're going to watch at 1.5 times speed until there's like an important moment, important fight, anything like that. So I was going to ban Arachne here or pick it. That's why I typed in AR. No, not really. One thing that happened this set is the Kings left open Arthur a lot because they really like to play Ardio into it, which is like a counter matchup. It's really not that big of a counter matchup, but it's just like it's just a character. Ardio can keep like Arthur at bay and not really let him get too loose, which is good. But yeah, so they left open Arthur a lot. That's something to keep in mind. They actually picked Arthur this game, which is what I was talking about in the last set when I was reviewing, is that I felt like a lot of teams felt kind of pressured into picking Arthur so that I didn't get it lower in a draft. Lower on in a draft, but to be fair, Harry's really good at Arthur, so who knows? Maybe they just picked it because they wanted it. But doesn't matter to me. I'll just pick budget King Arthur again, which is Cthulhu, and play it into that matchup, which is fine. So same thing. Cthulhu, just one of the few characters that can match King Arthur in lane, and is also kind of just as good as him late game when it comes to Bluestone procs, Glad Shield procs. He can actually dive and kill people. So his transition is just really good. Good in early, good mid, good late. And he'll never be like the reason you lose the game because he'll always have pressure, can get totem, stuff like that. So just the same thing as last time. Just picking Cthulhu to match the Arthur. Now they picked Nike this game, which I thought was a bit troll by them. Kind of inted their draft a bit, I feel. The rest of their draft is pretty dang good. They got the E set in mid. And a big win for us in this set was we actually gave them a first pick E set. And E set has been like a permaban for the past like 2 months in the SPL. Not only because she's insane in mid, and we obviously talked about it. She just insta-secures objectives, so she's kind of like a trump card when it comes to playing the map. But she's also good in support right now with the Lona's mask changes and, she just being a good support. But what's cool is that we actually won this game, and after first picking E-set, they lost, and that was like a big win for us in the set, because whenever something like that happens, especially if the enemy team like overthinks it or changes their mind on like the value of a pick, then it can be like part of the reason you can win a set or can really help you out. So, just think of it. It's like you first pick what's supposed to be the best character in the game, like game breaking, and you should be winning with it, and then you lose. So perhaps maybe you should just ban it the rest of the set and not even first pick it, even when you're first pick. It's just something to look for. Right there, I'm just like playing out to see what they're going to do, like where they're going to start on the map. I don't want Arthur to come like cheese invade my blue. Not that it's really that possible, but it's just something to look out for. So once again, just hitting the Arthur to stack out my rage a little bit. I'm also able to hit 3 minions plus him with my 1, which is really good. Just keep stacking it. Level 1, Arthur should get pressure over Cthulhu. He should outclear, but here he played this a little bit like back. Don't know if he thought like Lancelot was going to be over sooner or anything like that, but because of that, we just get a bunch of pressure and get this first totem. Sprack's just here just in case the Nike's here. And because the Nike's not here, she ganks mid. Daniel just survives. Once again, just hitting the Arthur as they try and run past you just so you can stack up your rage and make sure that they don't outclear you for free. But yeah. Similar builds as well in this matchup because you're both just going to have a Chalice and a bunch of pots, so you have a ton of sustain. Just playing at the tower line because I'm going to transform and I see where their jungler is on the map. She's in mid, so I'll be fine. Push the minions back, hit him plus the archers with my 1. Throughout any laning phase, you want to try your best to hit the enemies plus the wave with your abilities. Just gives you efficient way to poke. Looking to maybe rotate here, but I just have no rage. I'm not really going to be that threatening. And they're probably calling that I'm rotating over anyway. No, not exactly, Rogue. Just try not to let him run past you and clear for free. Poke him out, stack your rage. He gets poked pretty hard, actually. We poke out the Arthur really hard there, so we're going to go for the blue. We poke out the Nike a bit. They, I think, end up giving this up. We're just seeing what we really want to do. I just waited for the Arthur to use his abilities, and then I secured. Usually, whenever something like that happens, you need to have one person like zoning the person and the other person doing the buff. Sometimes it's the other way around, but this time it just happened to be the jungler zoning and the solo laner killing it. So we do our own blue. He's zoning. Not really that big of a deal. Probably not going to miss too many minions anyway. End up missing, I think, 1 minion off that wave. Maybe not even one. We're just in a good spot from the poking out from before and getting their blue. Should be a little bit ahead in XP. So far, smooth sailing, honestly. Getting a nice little lead on King Arthur, which is exactly what you want. Like I said, one of the few characters that can actually deal with him. Make sure we keep getting totems. The mini gold fear on the map. Those add up. Those add up real fast. Place my vision shard for that gank. Same spot you'd always place it. Don't actually want to full clear that wave because I want to be able to use my 1 and 3 on it so I can get my rage back. Even though he TP back in here, and usually you want to be scared of like somebody TPing in with pressure, he only has tier 2 Sov here, so I'm not really that threatened by it. And I'm just trying to get to my Sov now. Now I can TP back in with my full Sov. He's going to stop my back, which is fine. Just poke him out a little bit more. I can stay for this wave now because I'm about to transform and he stopped my back. Could have maybe ran to the back of my tower and got my back off. In retrospect, that probably would have been better by me. I shouldn't have tried to back at the front of the tower there. Because if I was actually able to get my back off and TP him with full Sov, we could maybe have gone for this blue buff. Just because I would have a full Sov over the Arthur. So lots of pressure. Just sticking around. Get his totems back up. Don't mind staying a little bit longer now. Again, the Arthur doesn't really have a power spike over me. He just has a tier 2 Sov. Scorpions are up, so Mike's coming over just to maybe look for a little bit of pressure. To be fair, I should have got my back off earlier just so I could have been really strong for these Scorpions. It's really important to be strong for those, but no big deal. Just going to go ahead and back in, TP in. Oh yeah, actually this game, no wonder. Okay, that explains a lot more, guys. I actually went Glad Shield this game. I forgot about this. So I wasn't being a noob and not getting my sovereignty when I had it. Actually, I was going Glads this game first because I was going to go Glad Shield, Mail Renewal, and then double magical defense. Because look at their comp. They have a Freya ADC and an ESET mid. If I went Sov, Glad Shield into like a magical defense item, I'm not going to be that strong with 3 items. They're going to hit me pretty hard because I only have 1 magical defense item. Now, if I go Glad Shield into Mail Renewal, which is a hybrid defense item, which gives me both, and then I get a Pestilence 3rd for their healing, because they have a lot of healing, and then I go Bulwark 4th item, I will be untouchable to their magicals with 4 items. I'll be untouchable. So that's what I decided to do. It does make my lane a little bit worse against Arthur, but I just need to play a little bit more reserved, and try not to get poked out, because then I don't have the sovereignty sustain. But I have plenty of pots. Glad Shield is still fine. You know, I'm going to be able to proc it very often as Cthulhu. So that was the game plan. Because I need to have Glad Shield in one of my first 4 items so I can actually do damage. And I need to make sure I get enough magical defense for their people. I kind of feign a little bit of pressure here. Look like I'm going to play up because ESET's coming around. I want to maybe make her rotate. Not really anything happens. Again, he has Sov and I don't, so I don't really want to sit here and just fight him. He's just going to win the trades probably. So I'm giving him pressure, telling my team, hey, he's walking to the left jungle, so they don't get ganked by him or anything like that. Stack up my rage with the autos. Yeah, it did weed, but for the build that I was going, greeting like that is definitely worth. Just kind of acting like I want to play up, so he can just kind of sit back towards his tower and I can go to my blue for free and not have him invade or anything. Burst that down. So we've gotten, I think, 4 or 5 totems so far. So we've been doing a good job of keeping those on our side. They just got one. I think that was their first one, maybe second. Have 1 minion left plus him that I can hit him with my 1. So that's really good. Actually do a little bit of damage with Glad Shield. Make sure I keep using that. I also have an upgraded blue. So I have upgraded blue plus Glad Shield. So I have 30% CDR right now. So I actually trade pretty well. Nike comes over for a gank, which is just pointless. They cannot kill me. So I just play back just to make sure they share a wave, which is good for me. Just gets the Arthur behind a little bit more. Poke out Arthur a little bit more. And because they did poke me out a little bit and I have enough for Mail Renewal, I said, all right, we'll just get that and get some wards so that we can start warding and being a little bit more safe. Not even just safe because I can't get ganked, but just so people know where they are. Yeah, thanks, Advent. Appreciate that. When I got out of the hospital, I was watching games. I'm glad you got out of the hospital, dude. So here, Arthur rotated, and they looked like they wanted to fight. They had 5 people in mid, so I TP'd just to make sure I was here. And if they did want to fight for real, then I could be there and I could help out the team. Really not that big of a deal for me to use my TP like that, because I ran back to my lane anyway and didn't really miss any minions. So, and Arthur had just used his TP to get to lane, so we're kind of still on a similar cooldown TP-wise. But yeah. Not the greatest to ever use your TP like that, because they're just going to see it and probably run away, but just wanted to make sure it was like extra insurance for my team if they try and dive or get crazy. The Freya was there. Netroid, he loves making these rotations. He's a rotator. It's in his blood. Just kind of want to poke him out away from him walking back into the lane for free. Poke him out if I can. Some good damage. Obviously out-traded him pretty hard. We have Mail of Renewal now, which is important to get as soon as I can, just because they do have a lot of kill potential on me. If I ever get CC'd with by the Ymir in front of the E-set and the E-set ults me, I will get one shot. So it's good to get Mail of Renewal ASAP. What the hell? Ads? On my own channel? It's because I'm not logged in. Fucking ads on my own channel. You're not subbed. I'm just not logged in. I could log in, but I did this yesterday and I didn't get ads the whole time. Money hack. Oh. Maybe I should log in. I didn't get any ads yesterday, though. Infinite money hack. Thank you, Skywalker. Appreciate that. Just what I need. Chicken finger plate. Zaxby's. Alright, back in action. So far so good. This is a pretty good game so far. We're up about 1k probably from like totems and just farming well. Maybe scorpions. Although we haven't got one of their scorpions. Takes me a while to actually clear brute minions or melee minions. We rotate over to help Sprack out. They kind of win on him. Arthur had a little bit of pressure over me, just clear pressure wise. Just making sure they don't pull Pyro here. They look like they really wanted to with the pressure that they got. They forced out the Lance, so they could probably go for Pyro there. We just need to hover. I'm going to full clear this wave and run to blue. I want to push this as fast as possible so I don't miss out on blue XP. And we make it back in time. Kind of just a farm game right now. It's a bit of a slow early game. This is, like you said the last time, this is the first game of the set, which is usually like a test game to see how the other team's going to play, get a feel for them. Even though you have played against them and you know how they want to play, it still just feels a little bit different in like a tournament setting. Don't mind getting poked out like this just because my Mail Renewal is going to proc, so I'm going to heal a lot of it. We have really good words on the solo side of the map right now, so I know if I'm going to get ganked. Also know if they want to go for Pyro or do anything like that. My TP's back up, so I'm kind of using that as like a second life right now. I'm just poking out, using that, and if I need to, I can just TP back in. I want to get a tier 2 talisman here, tier 2 of my magical defense, because that's a really strong magical defense item, like for cheap. Make sure I hit him plus the totem with my 1 and my 3. Go ahead and ult for this totem, just because, you know, that's what we do in soloing these days. And it also gives me rage, so just do that, and then hit the totem. Nike's chasing me out for some reason. Seems like they want to chase out to go to Pyro. I'm just kind of messing with them here. Don't really actually want to do the Sharpie. They probably are calling out that my ult is down, that I just ulted, so maybe that's why they want to fight or gank, but I'm still poking out. Just have another Mail of Renewal proc, plus I have a TP backup, so if I need to, I can just TP back into this fight. I'll be pretty strong if I can TP back in here with my tier 2 talisman. Or maybe we can greet it. Not sure. Thank you, Grizzly Bear, for the 8 months in a row. Welcome back, buddy. Appreciate you. Back into the shadows you go. And then Shadow Beast with the 3 months in a row. Welcome back, Shadow. We also can get our Blink here, which is very, very strong. I'm going to go ahead and keep my TP up just because the wave was already pushed pretty far. I'm not going to miss any minions if I just run back. I also am communicating with my team. They're telling me, you know, nothing's happening on the map. They're not on Pyro, nothing like that. So I don't actually need to rush it. We decide to pull Pyro here because we get a little bit of pressure from mid. And we are able to just get it just because we have Merlin burn for it. Mike gets got on here. I'm trying to help him. I don't want them to just be able to full engage on him. I do think they end up killing him, which is fine. But we got the Pyro. Support for a Pyro kill is plenty worth. My TP's still up as well. So worst case scenario, I can just TP back in here. Looks like they want to go for the mid tower. So I think I blink one and then just kind of chill. I was going to try and transform there, but I actually wasn't able to get my transform going. Plus the Freya was there. They had 5 people there just to push that tower, so I was going to try and stall, but it just wasn't in the cards, really. I hover TP to see if I need a TP to this gold. They kill Ymir for free, so I believe we just run to gold out of base here. I I think they don't even need me, so I just I TP left because I don't want to lose that whole wave to tower plus blue buff. I'm communicating with my team, seeing like what the enemies are trying to do. Looks like they weren't really going to ever defend that, so I just make sure to keep farming, getting big. Make sure I do my blue. Nike's actually coming over here. Oh, this is where I almost solo Ben here. This bozo is trying to do totem in front of me as a jungler, so I just hit him the entire time. Don't miss any autos, don't miss any abilities. I'm able to hit everything. That's his ult. So I jump on him, then one, and ult. And if his jump doesn't come back up, I probably kill him there. My ult probably doesn't kill him, but I probably need to auto him once and he's dead. But either way, that's still really good for me. I'm not really that worried about my ult in the early games. Early to mid game as Colin. I kind of just want to use it for rage and for some kills, and we were able to force out Nike there, force her ult, which is a big power play for us. Her ult's a lot more important than mine. Yo, Physic, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that. And Cacti, thank you for the 8 months of the Twitch Prime. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you. And Arcalius, thank you for the 4 months. Love to kind of keep it up. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Welcome back to the Fonzo family, guys. And Get 'em, thanks for continuing your gifted sub, dude. Appreciate you. So like I said, I'm going Pestilence into Bulwark here. Just double magical defense. It's just such a free build for me. And then I have a ton of defense from... let's just give me a bunch of defense for my Glad Shield procs as well. Sustain from Mail Renewal, it feels really good. Barely don't have to transform there, but now I'm about to have Pestilence plus tier 2 Talisman. I'm still super... Look at that. I have 228 magical procs right now, so feeling really good. We have a Treb in left plus all of our left jungles up, so we want to go clear that and maybe push with the Trebuchet to get a little bit of pressure on the solo side of the map. Maybe do something off of that, maybe the tower, or maybe they kind of come over, we can fight them if they're all there. Or we can just use that pressure to like walk into the jungle and like do their Scorpion, or walk over to a mid tower, so... What's up, NCM? How are you? Haven't seen a mystical in like 3 months. Yeah, it's really bad now. They nerfed it really hard. Making sure I don't transform. We're at the point in the game where I can actually use my 2 to not transform when I don't need to. We do it here just because I'm going to try and poke out the Arthur a little bit. Plus we have the Treb and Lance is coming over. So we can actually maybe even dive this tower a little bit, poke him out, just so we can get some pressure with the Trebuchet. I don't have a ton of physical defense, remember, just because I don't have that Sov. If I have Sov there, I don't really ever take any damage from that tower, but... We get a little bit of a pressure on the Arthur. He has to back. Now we're going to get a lot of damage on that left tower. Arthur TP'd mid, which was communicated. And we're just getting a lot of pressure on the map. They feel pressured into fighting or doing something because they're losing tower here and left. So we poke out the Arthur as he rotates to the Lancelot. Scream should be pretty much okay here most of the time. I say that Arthur's coming over, that I can go on him. And because they kind of left him, and Arthur's already pretty poked, we get him even lower. I tell my team I can get Bulwark here. I'm telling my team, I have Bulwark, I can come back to this fight and be absolutely unkillable. So my job in these fights is going to be, obviously, to go on their magicals, because I have so much defense for them that I can help them out. Scream goes in here and gets killed because he was trying to go on the Arthur and he thought people were coming over sooner. I'm able to get a nice Blink ult off on the Freya, use all my abilities on her, force out her beads. They try and turn on me with ESET ult, but I have Mailer Renewal and a Bulwark proc. I'm just fine here always. They used a lot to actually try and kill me. And we got Freya beads in the meantime, so... Even though Lancelot did die for that, we got Freya beads, and they're all not in the greatest spot ever. There's a couple of them that are pretty low, and Freya probably had to back, so they can't really do much off that besides maybe do Pyro, which we can just easily give up, which is what we did. So a bit of a misplay for us. We kind of just want to be grouped when we fight, but it is good to have Freya beads down. We can use that in our next fight. Hit level 18. I'm just going to go ahead and heal here. Going to be going Spirit Robe last item, just more magical defense and a little bit more physical. And then once I have that Spirit Robe, my Glad Shield's going to be hitting harder. Yada, yada, yada. Maybe Detective. Not sure. I'm just doing back camps here. Want to be around fire. They decide they're going to pull fire here. Obviously, we are around, which is what we want to contest it, of course. It's going to be my job to be the first one in. What I really want to do going into this fire is make sure I hit both of their carries with my ult, or at least like an important character. One thing you can look for is if they're on the pools, you can try and time your CC for when the pools spawn so that they can take extra damage from the pools. Don't have my blink up, but I can just sit here and stare at them. I'm unkillable. We're able to hit Freya with no beads. She takes a lot of damage from the fire. I'm going to transform on her. So I'm just going to chase her out all day here. I'm unkillable to her. She pops her shell. Her beads are down, of course. I'm just basically trying to get her ult. There it is. She finally uses it. And my team comes over to follow me up. I got another route for her. I'm just going to play so here so they can't kill me. Freya's starting to do a little bit of damage. I did end up missing my dash, but doesn't really matter. That guy's dead all day. You know, I just knew he was dead, so it wasn't We weren't really like sweating it too hard. She just caught him out of position, got a nice ult on him when his beads were down on the fire giant, and that just caused us to be able to chase them out. Good job on my team also to chase the other boys out because they couldn't really peel for her. She also split off from them, so yeah, there's an example of me being unkillable. Freya just used like 2 rotations of her 2-1 on me, and I never got below like 30% HP or 40% HP. She used her shell, she used her ult, she used literally everything. 2 rotations, and I still didn't. And that's just because they drafted a double magical backline. So, go back to 1.5. Again, another game that's not really that flashy. Just doing my job, building correctly, getting pressure when I can, when I'm supposed to, playing off of it, playing how my character is supposed to be played. Yo, Zababa Yaga, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that. And because we got that win, we were able to get the Oni Fury, which is really good. That's going to give us a lot of pressure on the map, which we can maybe make another play with. We're about 5k ahead now, 6k ahead. Even though they have gotten a Pyro and gotten some traded kills, we're 2-2 right now. We're up like 6k just from playing the map a little bit better. So yeah. This is the point in the game where fire is obviously going to be contested, so you want to make sure you're going to have some wards on it, or some cheeky wards where you'd see if they walked into it, if you can't get a sentry on the fire itself. I tell my team all I need to do is push this wave and I get bluestone, which is a huge power spike. You guys know it. Bluestone upgrade's probably top 3 item in the game. So I just decide, all right, it's time to fight. I got my bluestone upgrade. I'll get another sentry so we can be super aggro on this fire giant with our wards and our vision. I tell my team, let's just fight, because I have my bluestone upgrade before Arthur. And actually he may have his, I kind of forget, but I am just going to be able to one-shot people. I'm just looking around here, basically being a human ward. And I believe we are going to fight soon. Once again, my job is just going to be to get on the Freya and the E set. Doesn't really matter who. Just need to get on one of them to keep them occupied. Looking to poke out the Nike here. Then I get a fucking head. So anyway, E set's kind of in a bad position here. Scream is able to get on her and poke her out a little bit, so this is our chance to go in. They group up pretty hard here. I blink over the rock, get a 3-man ult, which is huge, get both their carries. We're kind of just chilling here. I kind of mess up my dash there, but I'm just kind of staying in the middle of the team fight. Basically, my job is already done. If I'm able to get a blink 3-man ult and hit both of their carries, it's probably going to be at least a decent fight, as long as we are able to follow up off of it. So we're able to kill the Freya, also get the Nike as she dives our backline. Eset ends up living, but it's just because she kind of peeled back towards her tier 2 and had her ult going. Unfortunately, we get FG bug here, and Merlin tanks it, even though I was the first one to hit it. But doing a good job of zoning here, making sure they can't get in. They have no Eset ult. She's not really going to be that threatening. You just got to have somebody tank it. I don't mind taking it as well there, just because I have my bluestone upgrade, so I want to hit it when it's still pretty high HP, because it'll just be hitting harder, which will allow us to burn it faster. And with them still having 2 dead, and no Eset ult, we decide to get their tier 2 and then back up, probably go pyro, do some stuff. Basically, whenever you get a fire giant at this point in the game and you have a decent lead, you just want to wipe the map of gold. You know, get the pyro, go push some waves, get your buffs, get those on cooldown. Make sure everybody reaches level 20 so they can get their starter upgrades, or for the support, level 17 until next patch. I push that, get a little bit more gold so I can maybe get towards my spirit robe a little bit faster. Oh, yeah, okay, so we switched from Spirit Robe to Nemean this game, just for more physical defense, so we can tank like the towers and phoenixes. But more importantly, Nemean's really strong against Freya, because the passive works really well for her combo. Because her 2-1, you're going to mitigate all of that damage, or a lot of that damage, and from Nemean. Even though it gives you physical prots, I have enough magical prots that it's no big deal. And we should be able to get 3 Nemean stacks with it if we go it. So, Decky, thanks for the 2 months in a row. Welcome back to the Fonzo family. Appreciate you. So yeah, just another looking for opportunity with my blink ult, not being afraid to engage, knowing, being confident in my team, and we were able to win that fight off of it. And it was also because Scream was the first one in actually that time, and he put them in a weird spot, which gave me an opportunity to look for something and got a nice blink ult. So now we're up about 10k, pushing a right side Phoenix. We're about to have a Treb. We don't have to play this fast at all. We can play this very slow, just because we're going to have a Trebuchet incoming, and we have plenty of sustain with Cupid Hearts. We can kind of just keep tower lining them here. Use the Treb to our advantage, let that poke it down. We can in full engage, but we just got to be a little bit careful because they are level 20. They do have a decent amount of shred now, like Freya will start to slam, but so we're not really using our blink engage because we don't really want to. We kind of just want to stick towards our team, let the Trebuchet do its thing. Are able to get a bit of poke, get a nice ult off on Freya, force her beads out, just dash away because I don't want her to be able to all-in me. Her beads are down. She gets hit by the Serval and, of course, dies off of it. So just a bit of a weird play by Netroid to be not able to react to the Serval with his ult, but maybe he just didn't see it or anything like that. But once we get that pick on the Freya, it's just free pickings from there. We're able to get the Phoenix, push into the Titan room, killed the E-Set, who was just not going to be able to get away. She doesn't have an escape. And when she's getting dove like that and doesn't have the damage to return, she's just pretty easy to kill. And, doesn't help that they were Arthur into Cupid, which, in my opinion, isn't that bad of a matchup. I don't mind playing into a Cupid as Arthur. Don't really think it's that crazy. But in general, obviously, the cripple field is going to be good for the Arthur, so we were able to kill him there on the Phoenix line, and we win the game off of it. Again, just not a really crazy game. I farmed when in the early to mid game, didn't really do much, just kind of try to get levels and XP gold. Got pressure, did totems with my transforms and the pressure that I got from the matchup. Made sure I didn't die to any ganks, rotated when I needed to, and then when it came to the team fight, just look for good blink ults so that we can initiate the fight. And ended the game with top damage. And honestly, a pretty clean game from us. We just kind of outplayed them on the map and maybe outdrafted them a little bit. Obviously, the Surd pick was also really good for the healing from like E-Set and all that. So, yeah, so that was our game that we used to kind of get a feel for the set. We were able to get a win over the E-Set, which is really important and kind of helped us win the set, in my opinion. And, so this game, we are able to play Arthur, except they counterpick with Ardio, and they also have a Cupid. Again, I don't really care too much about it. Don't really think those are really that big of a deal for Arthur. You just got to make sure you save your charge ult in fights to immune their big ultimates, like Cupid ult. We also get Lancelot. We get Lancelot and Arthur, which is a really strong draft already. And going into this game, I was feeling pretty dang confident, not going to lie. They go for a little bit of pressure here, so they switch to the Erlang. I think they just wanted to have pressure on the map, especially for Merlin, who is having a little bit of a rough early game. Just kind of want to get him out of the early game, get him towards the late game where he's going to be farming. So we are able to play the real Arthur this game, not the budget Arthur. Go back a little bit, and we'll go to 1.5. So just looking around for people, just being a little ward. So Ardio is actually decent at stealing blue because she can go conduit, and then her conduit hits really hard, so she can actually steal the buff. So I end up just going to ward her blue to make sure that she doesn't do anything crazy to invade my blue. And we run back. She does have conduit, tier 1 breastplate plus 4 health pots, and a TP, which is just the standard start. Should be able to outclear an Ardio at level 1. She's not really that good at actually grouping up the wave and clearing it. So I hit him a little bit, then I go and actually hit the wave with my abilities, get those on cooldown right away. I have an AoE auto, so I'm just going to auto down the archers, keeping an eye out in the top right to see when the Erling hits level 2, because when he hits level 2, he can come over to your lane and pressure you out, so you don't want to really let that happen. Don't want to die to the gank, obviously. Erling Ardio is a lot stronger 2v2 at this fight, so if they want to be here, they can just go ahead and get it. We're not going to sit there and fight them, because, again, Ardio Erling's just, we're not going to beat that. I do have the glowing emerald start because I'm going to be going male renewal first item because I'm against a magical. And that's why I don't even think the matchup's that bad, because it just allows you to go male renewal first item, which is really strong. Also, the tier 1 of glowing emerald is really strong because you have 15 HP 5 from bluestone, and then you have 10 from glowing emerald. So you have 25 HP 5 in the laning phase. So think about that. 25 HP 5 is literally 5 health per second. So it's like a half of a health pot going nonstop. So really, really strong for the laning phase. As you can see, I can literally tank these minions up. I'll have a pot going, but I don't even need to waste too many postures because I'll have the sustain. Call missing when the Ardio leaves the lane there. Forgot the volume wasn't on. Now I have 2 points in my wand, which full clears the archers with a couple auto cancels. They obviously want to go for a blue buff here because they have Ardio Erling, so they walk into it. We are able to get the blue and actually pressure out the Erling pretty hard here. Unfortunately, I hit him with my knock-up when he's in his turtle form. So he is not going to get knocked up by that. I actually don't pick up the blue, but just because we're able to pressure them out a little bit, and Erling's still level 2, and we're level 3, we decide that we're going to go for a blue buff here. So I try and group up the wave a little bit, want it to make sure that we push this into tower, so they have to decide between going to the wave or going to the blue buff. Looks like we do end up letting them have the blue. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly why. They just have a really good fight. So it's perfectly fine, but don't pick up my blue, but it's not that big of a deal because I'm going to have my totem proc, so I can just use that to get my mana. Maybe lacking CDR, but no big deal. So I kind of just want to farm up to Mill of Renewal if I can. And since I have a totem, I can just kind of chill in the laning phase here. I'm not really afraid of a gank. Erling just ticked over to level 4. They have like no real kill potential on me, especially now that I have my charge ult. Yo, Cash Lavar, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the Fonzo family. Appreciate it, dude. And Max Guy, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Thank you, guys. Still have a health pot. Totem's coming back up, and it's a really important totem just because I don't have blue. So we have our team here to make sure that we can get it. Another mini Gold Fury to us, boys. Let him have pressure a little bit. Pretty close to my Mail of Renewal now. Need about 200 gold. I want to be able to at least get like a 1 health pot with my Mail Renewal as well if I can. Blue buff's coming up, so I just share that over the wall. And get those minions. Use another totem proc. And so I can stay for one more wave here because they're not going to be really able to pressure me out. He's already pushing the wave into my tower. Or towards my tower, you know? He can poke me out, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to TP back in anyway. You see, be right back in VGS, get our full Mail Renewal. Now we're feeling pretty dang strong. So I have prots for both their jungler and their soul laner, and I also have sustain. So I'm basically ungankable, and if we fight over towards my side and I get a Mail Renewal proc, it can bait out a nice fight for us. So I outclear the Ardio here because she tried to go on me, and I focused on the wave. Get a nice outclear, so I start to rotate to a fight. Erling is able to get away with pretty low HP. I think a little bit of a misplay by Daniel and Sprack, but we are able to get our Scorpion, which is important. Good to defend that. They're actually looking to go in here because the Mori does no ult. So I'm just trying to keep people away from Daniel here. I'm very unkillable. I'm able to juke out the Ymir freeze. They're just kind of hitting me. They're using a lot of abilities to go on me. They actually use the Ymir ult. So I take the Ardio into the air to avoid the Ymir ult. It doesn't hit me. And then I also get a Mail of Renewal proc. And I have double pots ticking right now. I have a health pot and a multi-pot going with a ton of HP 5, the Mail of Renewal proc. So I heal up a lot here. We get a nice combo off of my charge ult. Are able to stun out the Ardio dash. And then the So yeah, they chase us out, trying to chase out Daniel. Just trying to hit people to keep away from Daniel. Are able to avoid the Ymir freeze. I know I'm basically unkillable. Tons of sustain, yada yada. You already heard everything I said. Take Ardio into the air. Big Atlas combo off of that. Get a nice proc of the Mori into a Mori stun. Stun out the Ardio dash as well. So she's just dead. Gonna chase out targets here. Erling, we go for. He's able to 3 away. Ymir is chasing out Sprack. I tried to body block here to make him get away. If Sprack actually just turned around and walked, I think I could have body blocked the Ymir away from killing him. So maybe Sprack should have turned around him and just walked away. But are able to get a nice fight going there. Honestly, mainly just off of me baiting. Baited really well because I have so much sustain and lots of tankiness. Are also able to avoid the Ymir ult, which was big. And then we stun out the Ardio dash, which is just a free kill. Good job by the team following up as well. So yeah, first good fight of the game for us. So now we're up about like 1k. What do you call Scream Sprack? Because his last name is Sprackling. It's just a nickname. Look for an Ardio gank here just because she's a bit behind now. I have a charge ult, and even though Ardio is pretty hard to kill, Arthur has a ton of CC, so he steps up really well for ganks. So get another pressure on the wave. Another fight is happening. This game was a clown fiesta, guys. We were fighting nonstop. And it's because after that game 1, both teams kind of figured out what they wanted to do, and it was run it the fuck down. So Ardio rotates early this, so I'm able to get a wave into tower, which is huge. No matter what happens in this fight, they're losing a wave in right tower. So I just go on the people in front of me, try and peel for my team. I am able to interrupt the Erling turtle, which is huge. We were able to kill him because of that. I knew he was going to try and turtle away, so I was just waiting. Avoid the Cupid ult here. They're actually really low here, and Cupid made the rotation. I'm able to hit the blue one on the Ardio, which actually kills her. And I'm able to cripple both, so we're getting a lot of damage on them. Another Mail of Renewal proc, we kill Ymir. I try to get the 2-man stun. Unfortunately, I only hit the Cupid. Try and run away from these guys because they're all ending me, but they are able to kill me. I think maybe my boys could have helped me a little bit there. Kind of just zone them with like autos and damage. And I probably could have gotten away, but yeah, unfortunate. Do go a little bit deep there for that, but honestly, sometimes you got to. A certain dominance a bit. So I unfortunately die, so I get shut down because I was 3-0, which is pretty bad. So maybe just shouldn't have gone that deep. If we don't go that deep in retrospect, maybe we smooth out this game and actually end up winning, but Mill over Slaw first. Now only against a magical. I'm against an Ardio, so yeah, maybe Weeb. So back to just normal, just farming, making sure Scream gets credit for this blue buff here. Sometimes I like to put extra points in my 3 instead of putting points into my ult. And since I'm in a matchup where I don't really care how much my ult does to this Ardio, I just have been putting extra points in my 3. Mike gets picked, unfortunately. I feign a little bit of pressure going for this blue. Then it looks like their boys are coming over. They send some people over, so I back up. So kind of force a bit of a rotation there, so like a small win for us. Then I walk into the blue a little bit to try and keep him from going to the wave, so he loses that whole wave to the tower, which is another small win. So this is why I don't even think the matchup's that bad. Like I'm better than Ardio in these fights early game, and Ardio's supposed to be really strong there. And he's, as you can tell from those fights, I just do so much more than her. So yeah. Not too bad. Poke her out a little bit. Now I can actually afford my Glad Shield. This guy still has no bead, so we go for a kill play on him, and unfortunately he gets out with 1 HP. We go all in here. I don't know actually what ends up happening. I think we end up killing... Okay, we don't kill anybody. But we get them pretty low. I'm looking for more, but nothing's going to happen. Ymir is walking into me, though, so... I think he still has meds, so he's trying to bait here or something, but we end up just killing him for free. I run away because I'm really low mana. Kill the totem on the way. We are able to kill the Ardio off of this. So that's another big win for us. And look who's here. Their Cupid is here. This is what I'm talking about. This guy rotates to everything, man. This guy rotates to absolute everything. And it's funny because we were just fighting a lot in this early game. Merlin flickers in to kill me, which I am perfectly okay with. He beads for the kill as well, which is really bad by him, I think, because I wasn't even like shutdown worthy. So he gets a kill, but he dies for it and loses his beads, which is really good. That gives us another window to play off of. So now we're up about like 2.5K here. We get our own Scorpion. We're feeling really good about the game right now. So yeah, we respawn, come back. But can you really blame Big Man for flickering in to kill me? No, he wants to kill Daddy. I understand. So go pick up my blue. It's back to the same old. Clearing waves. If I get pressure on my wave, looking to rotate, doing something off of it. Doing totems when we can as well. I am able to get this. Just have more abilities, plus have Bluestone, which does more. So we're still about like 2K lead, which is really good, especially because Erling's just going to fall off as the game goes on. Keep in mind, we do end up losing this game. And you're probably thinking, how the hell did you guys lose this game? You're literally farming him in the early game. Just picks. Like always, just a couple of picks here and there that kind of screwed us. So I get poked out a little bit, plus my TP's up, and I want to actually get my Blink right now, so get tier 2 Genjis plus Blink, switch those, and I rotate over to this left fight because my team is calling that they're looking for something. Nothing really comes from it, so I just go back, push this mid wave, because Daniel's going to go to his red buff. Actually, no, he does come to this, so I end up just using my one between the wave. But we are able to go back right. Ardio, I don't really know what Ardio did during all that, but I'm still able to get my blue buff, and the wave didn't even get pushed to my tower, so she probably is just doing her own blue, maybe some back camps or something like that, maybe even herself looking to rotate, but since nothing really came from it, all good. So we get a nice thick wave here, a nice thick one. Make sure we get credit for these melees before we go back up. So now we have a maxed out 3 and 3 points in our ult. I try and help out Scream here with a Blink ult. Yeah, watch this interaction. So I'm trying to blink over the wall here so I can help Scream, but unfortunately Blink fucking range is so tiny, so I'm not able to hit it right away. If I was able to hit it right away there, I might have been able to save him. But we get the Blink auto cancel off into our charged ult, take the Erling into the air. I don't know what the hell happened here, but watch, he lands and instantly dies. I don't know. I think maybe he took the knockup damage in the air or something, but anyway. So we are able to kill him. He was going to die no matter what there, basically. It didn't even matter if that happened. But we are able to trade 1 for 1, but that's not really that great for us because Sprack was in a pretty good spot. And just another pick that was unnecessary. Just unnecessary pick so far. We're up like 3K at this point, though. But definitely can poke out this Ardio a little bit. Cancel her through with my knockup. Bada bing, bada boom. Get another mini Gold Fury, thanks to Daniel. Pools hit him for 1K? Jesus. That's pretty troll. Nice Mail of Renewal proc. That's why this matchup's really not that bad. She's just going to constantly be procking it. And since nothing's really happening on the map, don't mind using my charge ult to poke her out. Kind of want to back for my Genjis and wards probably soon, since we have enough gold for them. We'll speed this bad boy back up. I just threatened to back here just by switching stances, but Harry doesn't fall for it. So I just full clear here because I want to back and get my Genjis, and I don't want the RDO to be stronger than me on the map running around. So we were able to get that. I get a Sentry as well. We just trade Gold Fury to Pyro right now. That's just kind of like a standard play. Based on the map state, we're able to get gold. They're able to do Pyro. I just want to make sure I can get my own blue. They do look to go for our Scorpion. We're just not strong on the map, so we're not ever going to be there to defend it. So I just do my own blue. How do you get stunned with Arthur Blue 1? Get stunned with Arthur Blue 1? What do you mean? This is the second game, Thailanders. Look to pressure out the RDO here because I'm really strong. And again, just have a ton of CC to actually kill. Nothing really comes from it. Just a lot of just clearing, fighting each other pointlessly. Looking to maybe rotate there and just match the RDO, but nothing happened. We didn't actually do anything. So now I have Blink at this point. Like I said, they do have a lot of CC for me, but I actually don't really care as Arthur. I personally think you should basically always go Blink on him and just make sure you have your charge ult for fights, because it's really easy to immune key like important abilities in the fight, and you're just so much more threatening with Blink. You can actually make plays and do things with Blink, whereas with beads you can't really. It's not always necessary, but definitely we would recommend going Blink even in some scenarios you maybe don't think you should. Call out that RDO is rotating. I kind of just want to farm, do my blue. We're up 4k at this point, so still in a really good spot. And I have my TP if I need to be at this mid fight. I end up going Magi's this game just because they have all this CC, and I was going to go Magi's Blessing so that when I Blink ulted or Blink started a fight and the Lance went in, he'd also get a Magi's, and it would just be really good for their comp that they have. Maybe it would like immune a Ymir freeze, or it would immune like a Cupid stun or something like that, and it would help us dive and get a kill. In retrospect, I don't know if I really needed to go that, but to be honest, it didn't really have an impact on the outcome of this game. What I built there. Get a nice wave under tower here, so I start hitting the tower a little bit because I'm pretty ungankable. So this is where things went wrong. We have Panda come over for a gank, or like just to pressure them out, look for something. And so I'm baiting there by going for that tower because I know they're going to try and come defend it. And Erling comes over. Unfortunately, I don't hit Erling, but I get RDO with that. And I think our beads are down, or she doesn't have beads, so we're just looking to all in her. And unfortunately, she is able to get away. But we are able to poke out RDO and Erling here. But sadly, Mike just walks in super aggressively and just gets instantly picked. Netroid's already here because Netroid's the one to make those rotations. And he just gets instantly picked. Even though all of us are still full HP... All four of us are still full HP, and we poked out the RDO and the Erling pretty low. We sadly are in a bad spot now because we're the ones trying to make the play, and now it's a 5v4. They can just heal up with Cupid Heart Bombs, RDO sustain, yada, yada, yada. And now we're kind of in a bad spot. Now they have the power play on the map. So, yeah. So then they decide they're going to go for a mid tower with their power play. In those scenarios... We've already seen a few of them. Whenever you're defending a tower or going for a tower, it's just kind of your job to be the one zoning or getting in there. So I start to walk over because I'm not too sure on what our plan here is, whether we really want to defend this, like hard defend it or what. We have no ultimates besides, I guess, my charge ult if I can get it. Or not my charge ult, but my jab. So sadly, we're kind of on different pages here. I thought we were going to try and defend this. They see me on the right. Erling comes to me. I get Ymir walled off, and I just get picked as well. So back-to-back picks. Not good. Definitely not good. I was looking to maybe blink in and go in there and just maybe we could try and defend, but it was probably just better not to do that. So that's another pick. They get the mid tower off of it. Now they run over to right with their power play and are trying to make another play on the map from just having another advantage. So they're actually not able to get that. And we force out the Cupid Aegis here, which actually isn't too bad for us. Lance ult for Cupid Aegis, not too bad. Max jumps in and completely misses his ult, but it's okay. They're a little bit poked, so at least they can't go like Fire Giant or anything. And then it's just kind of all downhill from here. So just picks basically causing us to kind of be in a bad spot, lose our momentum, lose our tempo. We try and pull a Pyro here, which they are aware of, and they come under to stop us from doing it. We can't really see anybody else on the map besides Merlin, who is poking out Scream in the mid lane. They chase out Sprack, force his ult, are able to wall him off, but he jumps over it. RDO dashes to him, but this is just bad for us. We went from being in the driver's seat to being the ones that are just kind of getting run at and getting plays forced on us, which is not what you want. Even though we're surviving, it's just not something that you actually want to be like doing in a spot where you're ahead. So they're able to force out land salt, force out a lot, get us low. They can pull a Pyro off of it, and they end up getting this Pyro, I'm pretty sure. This is one thing he's called Sprack is his last name. They're able to get a tier 2 in right. Wait, why was that? Oh yeah, okay. So it was right here. Just another pick. Another pick. They're able to use Ymir Wall on Atlas. And Mike just gets walled off and gets all in. Unfortunately, is not able to get his dash in between, and they can just one-shot him. We could maybe try and help him, but we just don't have our boys close enough. So if we try and go in and try and help him out there, it's probably just going to be a bad fight regardless, and we're going to die for it. Hard for us to really walk up. I think somebody's actives were down. I think somebody was calling that, so we're just not going to walk into that. We're just going to give up that fire, which does not feel good, don't get me wrong, but everything that's happened so far is just from bad picks, from picks that we could easily avoid, so bad by us. They're able to go right off of that. They have the pick plus Fire Giant. We're just trying to get farm on the map. I'm trying to farm up to my full Bluestone because I'm super close, which is a really big power spike, and yeah. Something to keep in mind as well is a lot of times you'll hear the casters talk about it. They'll talk about like Leviathan, sometimes with the Kings. Notice that none of this game has been a 5v5. It's just been getting picked, basically. Just picks and picks. And that's mostly what Smite is. There's not a whole lot of scenarios where a team 5v5s or a team of 5 versus like another team of 5. And it's just everybody running at each other 5-man. It doesn't really happen all that often. A lot of Smite is just getting a pick and playing off of that pick and playing off of like a power play or an advantage. So yeah. So at this point, bit of a rough spot, to be honest. The Merlin's now in the late game, which isn't good. He's probably the strongest person on the map now. And even though they're really not that far ahead, we kind of want to like feint defend these tier 2s, not defend them too hard. But they're just really strong in them. They can wrap behind us. They have a lot of CC, and they have ways to block us off with like Ymir Wall. They're actually able to go for this Phoenix in left. They poke it a little bit. Mike ends up using his ult, which isn't great because we don't really get anything off of it. And once again, I'm just going to try and blink ult to carry, at least force their beads on the tower line, and maybe we can do something off of that. They get a little bit of damage on it. Merlin's playing pretty far up, so I am able to get my blink ult off of him. They use Cupid ult for me as well, which is really good. Good trades, honestly. Don't really get anything off of it. So we look to go in because the Merlin beads are down and they have no Cupid ult. Ymir freeze misses, our pull misses. We go in. I don't have my blink up, so it's really hard for me to get towards their backline, especially if they're going to flicker and dash away. So I'm just kind of hitting the people in front of me, getting my charge back up a little bit. I am able to get a decent stun on the RDO in front of my teammates, but we're kind of just kiting away from Hui, and Max is like really big and is able to do a lot of damage, but it's really hard for him to hit these guys if they're kiting over here. And then also, we're kind of just in like this corridor. It's just not that great for us. They're still ahead. They still have Fire Giant, and we aren't able to kill anybody off of it. Probably just bad to even go in there. And we end up losing the game because of it. So maybe if we were able to fight them more towards like the Phoenix line, it would have been better. But just kind of a rough spot, and most of that game just comes down to getting picked. Should have probably been not an easy game, but should have been a game that we definitely could have won. And they just need to do a better job of not getting picked and actually playing together as 5. But to be fair, their comp is really good at doing that. Ymir is especially good at getting picks and making plays off of that. And yeah, same thing with Erling RDO. Erling RDO is definitely going to be able to run at you. So that was game 2. Now on to game 3. So this game 3, Draft-wise was a little bit rough. We gave him the old AMC, and AMC I think is like 7-0 on the weekend. He went pretty dicko mode. AMC's just really strong right now. Really good at PvEing and killing people. They just go a Shred comp. So even though they have 3 Fizz, it doesn't matter because they have Nemesis ult for Shred. Here. They have Nemesis ult for Shred. They have the AMC ult for Shred. And they have Khepri 2 for Shred. So even though it's 3 Fizz, it doesn't matter. You're not really going to have physical protections at the end of the day. I am able to get Arthur again. They're able to get their RDO pick into the Arthur, which is a counter pick. Whatever. Not really that big of a deal. We don't really care that much. If you're experiencing like Arthur versus RDO in rank, just go Mail of Renewal first item, save your charged ult, still go TP, just save your charged ult for ganks and stuff like that, and it's really not that bad of a matchup. But yeah. So this game is really slow. I don't really want to watch all this back and talk about it all that much. Plus, we've already seen a few Arthur games. I'm going to put it at 2x. I think this game was super slow. Honestly, they just win this game off of their comp and playing the map better than us with their comp. They're really good at PvEing. They have the Nemesis who goes Executioner, and then they have double ADC for shredding the Gold Fury or Fire Giant and Pyro, Scorpions, doesn't matter. They're just going to be a lot better at the map, at playing the map, and just being a lot more proactive. And that's basically what happens this game. They literally just outplay us on the map. So, I mean, I could talk a little bit about it, but it's kind of the same thing as last game. Pretty dull lane phase. I outclear level 1 because I should outclear level 1 as Arthur into RDO. You know, I don't think there's much to talk about. So they don't actually have the Erling this game. I run towards the Nemesis to try and zone her away so we can get the totem. But sadly, I'm pretty sure they get the totem because of fucking RDO conduit proc. One-shots it, so I wasn't able to zone the Nemesis off, but yeah. I'm pretty sure there's like no kills for most of this game as well. I think they get a kill in mid. Yeah. I think the Nem gets a first blood on Daniel, I believe, this game. So not good because then the Merlin's getting behind, slowing his build path down, and then the Nem with first blood. She's just gonna come back with like Golden Blade or whatever first item she goes. She's just gonna be really strong. A little bit behind in XP because I looked for a rotation in mid there before. They look for a gank there, but we're fine. Just one run away, no problem. I actually rotated there, and nothing happened for it, and it kind of cost me a little bit in the lane. So maybe in retrospect, not great, but, you know, could have been good. Mail renewals online, so now we're kind of just chilling. Pretty hard to gank. What's up, Mike? I mean, do you guys want to watch this game? Nothing really happens. Arthur's pretty good in a Nemesis as well. Keep that in mind, because you're slow immune in your 3s. And so that's something to keep in mind. Their matchup specifically, Khepri AMC is pretty dang good into Arthur, just because you have a lot of CC for him. So actually, I do go beads this game, just because they have so much shred and CC for me. But even in retrospect, I could have probably gone Blink as well. I just said, fuck it. Nem just kind of runs around the map and gets kills, gets the lead, outplays Sprack a little bit. Partly because of the matchup as well. It's just pressure-wise, and Nem just has so much more pressure. And we kind of just lose the game off of that. So, not much to talk about, really. Kind of just getting pressured out from a little bit of a deficit that we have. So in these scenarios, a lot of these games that you guys have been watching, that we've been going over, I have pressure and I'm rotating with it, but when I'm not the one under my tower, you'll notice I'm not rotating nearly as much. And that's just how it works, so. We're literally already down 4K at this point. The game does go to like 40 minutes, which is pretty crazy. We stall around our Titan for a while. And for the most part, I just did the same thing I did in the other games. I try and dive if I can. We get a nice Yamoja ult on an AMC at some point, and I'm able to take him into the air with my charge ult. And that was pretty good. But for the most part, it's really hard for me to dive into their comp because I can't kill anybody because they have Khepri ult. And it's really easy for them to kill me because they have so much shred and CC. So I'm just kind of playing in this in-between area because I don't have Blink. I'm just playing in between, trying to keep them at bay, trying to keep their carries away from hitting my carries, and hopefully we can kill we can kill their tanks before they kill our tanks. So that's kind of my job throughout this game, is just kind of stall instead of actually full on diving. I ult the Chernobog into the air at this tower line, get his bead, which is decent, but they are able to get the Phoenix. So yeah, just kind of get bled out here. Nothing really too crazy. The one bad play I made this game, even though this game was pretty difficult, and we almost put up like a decent defense on our Titan. I'll show you the one thing that cost me the game, or that I fucked up. So we're trying to make a defense on our Titan. Our Artemis has enough damage to actually kill their tanks now and fuck them up. Our Tsukiyomi's level 20, Merlin's level 20. We actually do a lot of damage at this point, so even though we're down almost like 20k, we can put up a defense and actually fight this. We're able to get the Nem, I believe it was the Nem, pretty low here. I'm just kind of going on them, helping out my Tsukiyomi, peeling back when I need to. Nem gets really low, so I try to 180 ult him, and I completely miss, and then I die for it. If I'm able to take the RDO or the Nem into the air there, they probably die, just because Arthur ult does a lot of damage, and the Bluestone procs and everything like that. And they probably can't get their Khepri ult on that person, because he has to preemptively take ult them when I take him into the air, because it just instantly takes them. So maybe we're going to be okay, but honestly probably just bad to look for, and then I die for it, and they're able to end off of it. So just get bled out. Kind of a draft diff and a bit of a pressure diff, really. So moving on to game 4, we actually get to mix it up. We're playing a different character. Get to play Cthulhu this game. So Cthulhu is really good into RDO. How long was I up here? My bad, guys. Cthulhu is really good into RDO. So that's part of the reason I pick it. You know, just kind of stalemates that lane. And honestly, you're just going to do a whole lot more as Cthulhu come late game. So if you're able to stalemate the lane and just be more useful late, then it's just obviously a really good pick. But also, obviously, we have the Morrigan, which you can have 2 Cthulhus. Wow, crazy. So yeah, our draft this game was pretty sick. I was definitely liking our draft and everything. Yo, Mr. Heisman, thanks for the 47 months in a row, dude. One more month and we have the 4-year anniversary. Yeah, I agree, Mr. Heisman. It is what it is. But they just announced Worlds would be in person in January, so... So we get to mix it up and play a magical god now. Before we were just playing Arthur or Budget Arthur or maybe Rat, but... So obviously we're going to go Conduit. Conduit's amazing. Helps your early game. Helps a lot with PvEing, securing blue buffs, securing totems. I really like to go Pythag's first item on a lot of Guardians, especially Cthulhu. Gives you 250 health, gives you a lot of PvE potential because it gives you a lot of power. Sustain in lane, which is obviously very important. And you don't really get pressured out by anybody as Cthulhu, so very easy for you to get away with. Also has 10% CDR on it now, so kind of accelerates your build. Just able to do my blue, group up the wave with my AoE autos plus my 1. Cthulhu actually has really good level 1 clear with Tiny Trinket Conduit, so you're actually able to outclear most people. And if I just get enough Conduit stacks up, I can one-shot the totem as well. I have pressure over RDO. We're actually Pele Cthulhu into RDO Erling once again, so RDO Erling has a ton of fight potential. Just a lot of pressure by them. I actually don't use my Conduit proc on the totem there. I did it a little bit early, but all good. We're able to hit the Erling with it, which reduces his auto attack damage on the totem at least, and still able to one-shot it. Get my dash level 2, just because they have a lot of kill potential as Erling RDO, like I just mentioned. Lots of CC. And yeah, my job throughout this laning phase, I see Erling's in mid, so I dash the wave. If I don't see Erling on the map, I probably never dash that wave because he can easily gank me and just kill me. So I group up the wave. I'm able to outclear again just by dashing through him and grouping it up and using Conduit procs and AoE autos. I always get a point in the Mire at level 3, just so you have all points, because you can do something like this, 2 and walk away and hit the whole wave. If we see Erling on the map again, we can dash this wave. If we don't see him on the map, then we probably don't dash this wave, which is exactly what's happening. Just clearing it up. Actually poking him out pretty hard here. Erling's already on the totem. I'm able to poke out RDO pretty hard here because he was trying to like play back up on the wave to see if he can get pressure for that totem. But because he did that, he got rooted out in the wave. I was able to outclear him and poke him out really hard. So because of that, we have pressure to walk into this blue buff. I kind of just want to walk towards this Erling, see what I can do. RDO's actually pretty low here. So what happens is Erling decides to go south, which means he's going to go to our buff. So we're just going to trade here and trade buffs for buffs. And able to just one-shot that with Conduit. I'm good at securing that. RDO is not the greatest. we ping out that he's actually going down there, and whenever that happens, you basically are just trading out the buffs. So we go to get their speed. So it's pretty troll. You're just like switching which side of the jungle you're on, basically. Yo, Beyond Belief, thanks to the 3 months in a row. Welcome back to the Fonto family. Appreciate that. I've vision sharded my own blue just so I can get a timer on it. Keep trying to poke out Ardio because we're kind of just winning this lane right now. Totem's going to be coming up soon, so trying to get these small wins. There it is. Do that with the pressure that we have. She has a wave under her tower, so that's a free totem for us. Just looking over to see what she's trying to do. She's actually going to back and TP in here, which means she's not going to have her full item because there's no way she can afford a full item based on the gold that she's had from these waves. I'm actually pretty close to my full Pythags here, but what I actually decided to do to make sure that I'm strong on the map for Scorpions, and just so this Ardio isn't poking me out, is I get tier 2 Pythags, a Chalice, and an upgraded TP to tier 2. Because the tier 2 TP is a shorter cooldown, so it allows you to kind of hyper farm on a character like Cthulhu. Because all you're really trying to do is get to your late game. You're just going to be stronger if you do that. So TP back in with tier 2 Pythags, which gives me a little bit of sustain. I have Chalice now. I'm not really threatening or worried about that Ardio poke. Let them know that Ardio could be rotating over to that, and blue buffs are coming up, so we're going to be strong for that. I also get 2 wards because Erling has really good gank potential on somebody like me. So we get the wards down, so we can play really, really safe. Cthulhu is just really safe with wards and the Mire. So I believe this is the first fight of the game. We're running into this blue buff because I don't know exactly why we forced this. Oh, it's because we have pressure coming over from mid. Daniel's walking over here, so we just kind of want to bait a fight. I'm able to get a nice root on the Ardio, or at least a slow. We also interrupted our dash, I'm pretty sure, so we end up diving this. I can tank this because I'm full HP still. I tank this for my boys a little bit, get my 1 and 2 off and everything. That was the last tower shot I could tank based on, like, you know, just getting a feel for it. We're able to kill both of them. Scream does die for it, but I'm actually able to get away. Barely live. The tower shot hits me, but if genetics kills me here, obviously feels pretty dang bad because we trade 2 for 2. But we're able to trade 2 for 1, and I get first blood as Cthulhu, which is just mwah, chef's kiss, you know. So we just go ahead and do our blue here, get that on cooldown because I don't want them to come out of base and come to it, you know. They could maybe run out of base to it. So I just get that on cooldown, grab that, and back for my Pythags now. So I'm going to be feeling pretty dang good now that I have a Pythags running back to my lane. So we just forced that blue fight because we have a mid pressure coming over, and he can rotate first, so you always want to be deciding on like a fight or deciding to do something based off like a clear advantage or something that you know will like go well, basically. So like you don't just want to fight for the sake of fighting. What you'll notice and what I've been explaining in a lot of these games is like you're actually doing it for a reason. Either it's because you're out rotating, you have pressure, you have higher kill pressure because your character is just better in the early game. Like there's always a reason for something, so that's something to keep in mind. They look to gank me here. They actually interrupt my dash, but I don't know why they're even trying to gank me. They can't kill me. I'm just going to TP back in anyway, most likely, if I need to. But since they're running over to their blue buff and I can keep eyes on them a little bit, I just go walk up and clear the wave and run back. I ward the totem to see if they try and go for that. My team, since I tell them that the Erling's going to be at blue buff, I let my team know that where he is on the map. I tell them that. They look to go for a play in left because the Erling won't be there. And because they're in left and they're getting kills, I get these back camps on cooldown. Just want to be efficient with our farm, especially in a team setting. So we get these bad boys on cooldown. I also don't really just want to be sitting in my lane because I just got poked out anyway. So this gives me like a get out of jail free card to get farm and just chill with my low HP. I get a ward to see if they try and invade this blue. I save it for Scream to make sure he gets credit. And I shouldn't miss out on too many minions here if I just dash over to it. End up missing only 1 minion, I believe. So yeah, that was honestly, that gank worked out really well for us as a team. They wasted their pressure on a Cthulhu they can't kill. They went to a blue buff and did it, and because they were at the blue buff, we were able to pressure out the other side of the map. And then me personally, more selfishly, I'm able to get these yummy little back camps on cooldown, which gives me a lot of farm as Cthulhu. So, what's up, Shorty Boy? How are you? Now we have 3 points in the mire with Conduit, able to full clear the archers. Nice. Make sure those minions don't go to tower. Push them out with our 3. And once again, Pele is in left side, so why not? We'll just get these back camps on cooldown again. Cthulhu is a character that I don't think you'd mind getting really fed. He can be the difference maker in a game. Can hard carry. So we get those on cooldown again. I ping out the rotation from Ardio. We also have a ward there. It's important whenever you're playing a character like Cthulhu or one of these characters that's kind of playing towards your side of the map and playing at like your tower, you get these low wards so that your team can see when their enemy is rotating, because a lot of times they're going to be out clearing you and rotating before you, and they're going to rotate aggressively. So now my team can see when these guys are rotating that way, and I also can see what they decide to do, whether they come back to the lane or whether they run back to the mid lane or whatever. Stuff like that. It's less important for me to have a high ward, especially if it's really hard for me to get ganked. It's more important for me to have that low ward that will show where like they're actually going. Just kind of playing towards the tower line. Erling looking to go for our back camps or a blue buff or something, but they're actually not up. I call that out. Poke at the RDO a little bit. Just keep clearing. Ready for this blue buff to respawn. I actually went Mail of Renewal first item here because they have an RDO and an Erling, so they're split physical and magical, so I don't really want to go like a Breastplate. I don't really want to go like a Genji's or anything like that. I'd rather have a defense for both of them. And because Mail of Renewal works really well on Cthulhu, because when you're in your ult, you have a lot of HP. You can have like 5,000 HP, so that maximum health that the passive has works really well with him, because it'll end up healing your teammates for much more than any other character would. It'll end up healing you for much more than it ever would. How come we don't see more Cthulhu in comp? He's just kind of low pressure. He's more of a counter pick, and he can get bullied out a little bit by some pressure warriors, but probably a little bit underrated. Are you able to get the totem? Nice little mini gold fury. We're up about 2k at this point. I do have my tier 2 TP still. I can upgrade that bad boy to a heroic and rotate to these fights if I want to. Also have my second relic, which is going to be a TP, of course, because Blink ulting as Cthulhu in a team fight is very strong for chasing people out. Kind of spacing for this RDO stun when I use the Mire. Just a small thing that you can look for. RDO ends up using her dash to run away. They're walking over to this Pyro, so we're not actually ever going to do this. We're maybe looking for a fight or something. We do end up blinking in. Nothing comes for it. Mike isn't able to get his ult off. Yada, yada, yada. Still looking for a fight. Pyro is up already, and Pyro's probably the most important thing on the map at this point whenever it respawns, because it's much easier to do than Gold Fury, and ends up being like a net more farm on the map because it gives you movement speed out of base, so it can kind of allow you to back for free. We are able to pull the Pyro, kind of just matching the RDO here. I'm just trying to jerk her off a little bit and make her think that we're not really trying to do Pyro, but they know about it, so she goes over there. I let my team know they're burning with there's the 3 of them. We kind of 50-50 in front of their face, which is, you know, maybe a little bit sketchy to do, but we're able to get it. Erling does miss his ult here, isn't able to hit Bracken. I'm able to get a root, proc the Morgans too, and this is just bound to be a good fight because we're able to get a ton of damage on Erling. He's having to 3 away, which is exactly what you want because Erling wants to be 3ing in and going in aggro. They force their Kepri ult. He's really low. We're able to chase him out because we just have a lot of chase. Pele blinks in, and we can just keep going and killing everybody here. Mail Renewal procs. Look at the healing. Look at the healing. My Mail Renewal procs here. Right here. It procced. All of my teammates are around me. Look at the healing to them. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Get 3s off. Bada bing, bada boom. And we're able to kill 3 people off that fight. And that's just because Erling missed his ult. We're able to get a nice Mori stun on him, plus proc the Mori too, and we just have so much chase down potential. So we're able to kill 3 and get the Pyro. 3 plus Pyro is really good here. A little bit of on different pages here because I thought we were going straight to gold here, but they wanted to go mid tower to gold. So they stayed in mid and hit the mid tower, and Scream and I just hit this for a while and got super low off of it. So although we have Pythags isn't the fucking best item in the game. So Heim comes in and almost steals it and kills 2 of us. So honestly, that was pretty bad. That was pretty sloppy by us. But it's just because I literally thought we were just going straight to gold, just on different pages comms wise. So easily fixable. So yeah, end up going Sov here. I was gonna go Midgardian because they have an Erling, and Erling in team fights a lot of the time he wants to go kin size and just run at the Cthulhu, kind of just like one shot him because of his passive plus kin size and having a good hit chain. So I was gonna go Midgardian, but I couldn't afford it. I just wanted to be really strong out of base here so I could like run around and do whatever. So I just go with Sov because they just kind of double down on this or triple down on this sustain build. And Sov is also still really one of the best physical defense items in the game. It makes you really tanky, so I'm pretty dang tanky at this point. They have another comp where they have a triple magical, but not as important this time around because it's really just the Merlin that I have to worry about. Capriardi aren't really going to do any damage to me. And just with the amount of sustain that I have, I'm feeling pretty good. Erlang is not really that great at building anti-heal. I mean, he can go toxic play, but he's not a brawler's character, so that's something to keep in mind as well when it comes to these healing builds. You know, if they have like a Hunbats or like a Susano or, you know, just like assassin junglers that are pretty good at building brawlers, feel a little bit worse. But whenever they don't, or they have like a Nemesis who isn't going to go like an ability-based build, then yeah. They're able to dive mid and get big man here. Just kind of staying in line with this Ardio, doing what she does. They force out the Erling as well, and because of that, I just go out and proxy. We have 2 dead, and the Erling's not ever going to come to me, so I might as well proxy into helping out my team do something. We have 2 down, so I believe we call a Fire Giant here. Still pretty early in the game, but I want to zone because I have my ult up and blink and everything. So as my job as a zoner is also to call out like who's coming in, what we should do if they're coming in. And I say that this Ardio just dashed, so we should just fucking kill her, and that's what we do. If the Ardio dashes right in front of our faces and the Fire Giant really isn't that low, we can just all get off of it and go and kill her. So we are able to kill her. I stick around my team, heal them. I try to knock up Heim here, but I see that he's teleporting, so I flick it at the last second, and I actually hit him. I wasn't even trying to hit him. I was trying to hit the Erling because I was like, all right, I'm just going to knock up the Erling now. So we're able to knock him up after his teleport, so he has to ult away. Unfortunately, my ult runs out before I can get the last knock-up off. And because of that, nothing really happens. We're able to get the right tower. We do get the kill in the Ardio. But it's fine. I mean, it's still really early in the game, so pulling a Fire Giant like that, you're not really trying to like ever full commit to it. You're just trying to see what happens, see if you can get another pick, make another power play on the map. So we get the tower and go about our separate ways to get some farm. We're up 6k at this point, though, so not really a mistake to be made besides getting picked and chain picked. So I'm just hovering around, making sure they don't ever try and all-in a Fire Giant right here, because that's kind of their only play at this point, 6k down at this point in the game. And that's what they try and do. They have a Merlin, so they do have decent burn for it, but their only real play is to burn this Fire Giant. So we have some people stick around so that we can actually stop them from doing this while we do the Gold Fury, so we can kind of expand in our lead. Sadly, I kind of played this a little bit bad. I kind of rushed into walking into the Fire Giant, and I also didn't really want to use my Blink or anything crazy if I didn't need to. So I end up trying to use the Mire to help them out, but they end up starting to burn me, so I end up using my ult. Mike gets a good wall off. I could have turned around here and instantly healed him and Max, and I think they maybe would have lived because our boys came over with double churn ult. And that was another reason that we were baiting this, just because we could have the double churn come over and it would have been fine. We were able to force out Kepriel. We killed the Erlang, so it's still a 4v4, and just one for one right now. And I have my teleport, so it's fine for me to come back in. They pause. I believe somebody was lagging. I think Harry was lagging. So yeah, just a 1-for-1. We get the Gold Fury, so we're now up 8k. So even though it was just a 1-for-1, they didn't get the Fire Giant. Nothing happened from it, and we're able to expand on our lead even more. So now we're going to pull the Fire Giant again once we're all strong. I actually don't have my ult here, so because I don't have my ult as Cthulhu, I'm not very strong. So what I want to do is to be the one tanking Fire Giant, because I don't really want to play up. I'm not really going to be that useful until my ult is back up. Plus I have Pythags and Sob, so if I'm just tanking this, I'm not really going to take that much damage, and I can keep the Pythags for my churn to give him the passive and help him do a little bit more damage with this. So because of that, all of my other teammates can zone, and because of that, we're able to get the Fire Giant pretty easily. Just a good job zoning. So once again, in sieges, as a frontliner, specifically the soul laner, with Blink, you kind of want to be the first one in. You want to be the one tanking, starting the fight, getting in there. I don't really want to use my Blink here because I don't think they're really going to contest it that much. But I use my 2, and Netroid on Heim steps up instead of stepping back to avoid the root. So he misses, or he avoids my root, but then he gets hit by turn 1, and he's just sitting right in front of all of us. So I decide to ult and start getting in there and knocking him up. So we get him pretty low. Heim has to TP away at a pretty low HP. Mail of Renewal procs on me, so we're going to be healing up quite a bit. Look at this healing. Look at this healing. Wait, just watch. Just watch. I think Mike's Mail of Renewal procced on me. So my Mail of Renewal procced, and then his Mail of Renewal procced on me. Look at the HP I'm getting back as I walk away. I was at like 40%. Now I'm at like Now I'm at like 60. Like 30 per second. That is gross. That is gross. So yeah, we're able to get the tier 2 off of that, which is exactly what we wanted. We kind of fit. Kings are a really good team. They're not just gonna like lose the game off of like a tier 2 tower defense. Some teams will, but they won't. So we kind of knew that they were just gonna like soft defend that, and they did, and we're able to get it anyway. So when you're playing really good teams, when you play a bad team, a lot of times you can use as little as possible and gain as much as possible off of it. When you're playing a really good team, you have to use a lot to gain small wins, basically. So, like, I use my ult there, and we use a decent amount to try and pressure them out, and we get the tier 2 off of it. So it's a small win for us, but because they're a good team, that's just what's necessary. I look for a TP in here to go right because I know they're pushing out that wave. Unfortunately, they're not at that wave, but Erling is in mid, so they turn ult over to him, and they get a kill on him. So now we have a pick. We still have Fire Giant, so we should use that to try and get a Phoenix. Once again, I have my ult up. My job is to be the first one in. But right when I blink in, I get instantly knocked up into a Heim ult, which isn't really that bad for us because they're kind of stuck in the middle of all of us. And Heim's like standing in front of everybody as he ults me. So I'm kind of, if I was deeper in the Phoenix there and he was able to do that, maybe it would have been bad for us. But because he's kind of in front of everybody and has to get caught in his animation, he dies from it. And of course, it's really hard for them to kill me when I have another Cthulhu coming in to help me who can heal me. That's what makes Cthulhu, double Cthulhu comp so OP, by the way, guys, is that when you're both in your ult and you click 3, you heal everyone around you, but it also does a percentage of your own HP. It's kind of like Thanatos 1. But if you have 2 Cthulhus, you're constantly healing each other back up for the damage that you do to yourself. So it's kind of broken. You just heal a lot and just can dive so much because there's so much HP that they have to shred through. Get a nice 2 off. We're just trying to get Phoenix here and back up. We're not going to try and end the game quite yet. So we are able to get the Phoenix and just back up. Can go gold here, get their buffs, and just expand on their lead. Once again, when you have Fire Giant, you're just trying to take all the gold off the map. We're able to get that Oni Fury. Now we're up about 16k at this point. I'm just using myself as like a human ward. I'm sitting mid, seeing who's here, so I can give some pressure to them so that we can kind of fall back and do pyro or fire when it's up. Once again, they have so many waves to worry about. We had Oni fire waves in mid and right. I have fire waves to worry about, so they just give up fire. It's not enhanced, so honestly not that bad of them to give it up, but it's pretty impossible for them to win the game at this point. So this is a big thing that you need to do as a soul laner when the mid Phoenix is down, or even when it's not down, you can just try and do this. You need to try and get in this little nook area, because when I walk over here, they have to be a lot more threatened of the side engage, and me coming in from the side and getting on them. Erling actually does a lot of damage, so I have to be a little bit careful of him, so I dash back through, go towards my mid wave, and once he realizes he needs to go defend the Titan, and then he's not going to threaten me, I walk back over here. I don't even use my blink here. I just literally walk over, because Mike dies. It gets really low. So now I'm just behind them, but Max is maybe able to train out Netroid after they kill Mike. Now I'm just behind them. We're just killing whoever's in front of us. I root out the Ardio so she can't get away. Dash the Merlin to kind of push her towards my team. And I just ult so I can maybe knock up the Ardio out of her dash. We are able to kill her. And at this point, I can just tank the Titan because I'm a full HP Cthulhu in my ult. I can sit here and tank it. It's doing no damage to me. I can keep healing out my teammates if I need to. And we have enough burn at this point in the game where we're just going to kill it. And that's what happens. So, pretty standard stuff. I ended up going Spear of the Magoose last item, just because I like going a damage item on Cthulhu. It makes you a lot more threatening late game. And it's usually a Divine Ruin, but they didn't really have a lot of healing, so I didn't really care about going Divine, so I ended up going Spear, just for extra damage. And then, of course, I went Bulwark of Hope so that I would be super tanky to their Merlin, and Bulwark of Hope is also a big nombo, or not a nombo, but a big combo on Cthulhu because of the maximum HP that it gives you in the shield. So yeah, pretty good game, pretty standard, nothing too crazy. Got an early game lead on Cthulhu, which is always going to be a good sign. And honestly, our team fight comp was just disgusting this game. This is such a good comp. Tons of chase down potential, no way for them to get away. We can play the map really well with these globals. Honestly, kind of flawless. We have healing, we have AoE damage, like everything. Able to get the Chernobog again, which is nice. They go back to their like double ADC comp with Freya. But again, we're not going to talk about the matchups or the picks and bans too much. But one thing I will talk about is we get Arthur again. But this time around, watch what happens. So this is a fun little picks and bans thing that happened. So neither soul laner has picked, and now it's bottom 2. We are second pick. So when you're on second pick side, you're able to get the last pick of the game, which means you get the counter pick, basically, because you're able to see the full enemy team comp. You're able to see their soul laner and what they're playing, so you can counter pick that soul laner with your own. So we pick Yu Hong fourth pick here. Now I'm going to be the last pick. Obviously, I'm not playing any of these characters. I'm not playing the Femir this time around, you know? We're taking shit serious, right? Yo, Fergie, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the Fonza family. Appreciate that. They ban Cuchulainn this time around. And then they go Bellona Osiris. Now, I don't know if they necessarily meant to do this, but I was considering going Bellona here because look at their comp. It just farms everything in their comp. It farms Kraken, it farms Freya, good against Chiron. It's just they have a lot of auto attackers. So Bellona would have been really good here. But the problem with them taking away the Bellona is that it gives me a free Arthur pick because Arthur's still left up. And Arthur's actually pretty good into Bellona. Deals with her pressure really well and is really good in fights because you just have a ton of CC for her. You know, it's just really good. So honestly, ended up being like the picture perfect game for Arthur too. Arthur's really good into all their characters as well. So I think a little bit of an oversight by them, but don't mind it. And we get a nice little Arthur game to boot. Get a last pick Arthur as well, which is nice. They go back to Osiris for some mannequins pressure early game. They basically just have pressure everywhere. Bellona's pressure, Osiris' pressure. Chiron mid is a bit of pressure. They just want to be able to be proactive on the map, and I don't blame them. That's what you should be able to do, or that's what you should try and do. And yeah. So this is game 5 of the finals. Just looking again to see what the Bellona wants to do, see if anything cheeky is going to happen. So one thing about Bellona is that she gets wave pressure really easily because she outclears basically everybody. Obviously, everybody knows that. Everybody knows how Bellona works. I missed my blue buff here, but it doesn't matter. I'm not getting wave run pressure here anyway. He's going to outclear me. Usually, against Bellona, what I want to do is poke her out a little bit if I can, if she tries to like run past me and clear the wave. But it is Bellona, and she's just going to death steal up. But you have a ton of pots as Arthur, so you can make it work. So you just get hard outcleared. But actually, one benefit of getting really outcleared is that it pushes the minions into the tower. So then the tower will kill the minions for you, so you can actually get level 2 before this first totem spawns. If that makes sense. It actually is a benefit to get outcleared really hard. So even though they have a much better fight than us, I'm a Bluestone character, so I'm pretty good at just like one-shotting this totem, and I also have 4 abilities, so we do contest it, and unfortunately we aren't able to get it, but it's really not bad for us to try and go for, just because we're not really trying to fight. We're just trying to prevent them from getting it for free and maybe getting it ourselves. She's just going to outclear me. She's going to have more early game pressure, so I just play back, let her... What you want to do against characters that are going to outclear you really hard or have a ton of pressure is kind of hit them plus the wave, but only like from towards your side of the tower. You're not trying to ever run past them. You're just trying to hit them a little bit to poke them and bring the minions towards you. That's the most important thing, is kind of getting the minions to come towards you so you don't get zoned ever or get like bullied out because you just have the minions in front of you. I call it that Bellona's looking for a rotation there from her pressure. Because she did make that rotation, I'm able to get enough pressure on my wave to get the next totem, which is really good. That puts us in a really good spot because they're Bellona Osiris. We should have been in a bad spot here. They should have been able to get that totem, fight us again, and maybe even go for our blue. But because she makes that rotation and my team just plays back off of it and maybe baits it a little bit so she doesn't get anything from it, I get wave pressure, totem, and we get a free blue buff. As in our own blue buff, which is true, but they just have so much pressure that you would think they'd go for it. You're sort of controlling the minions. Yes, exactly, Mike. Sort of, in a way. So we're getting out of that early game where it's a little bit rough against Bellona, where she's just going to outclear us really hard. Have 2 points in our 1 now, so we're feeling pretty good clear-wise. Don't mind throwing that wave. They just don't really have a lot of kill pressure on me as their characters right now. Unfortunately, don't hit level 5, and she's going to hit 5 here. I think maybe we shared a couple minions here and there, but just play back because she's 5 and I'm not. Again, just hitting her so the minions come towards me. See where the minions are? Look where they are. The archers are all the way back here, but the melees are literally on my tower line, so I can literally just sit in my tower and clear them. So that's a huge tip that I'd recommend you do if you're ever getting bullied or if you're in a matchup that's rough. Just bring the minions towards you so you don't get sooned. So now we're level 5, so we're chilling. Just kind of want to farm up to our sovereignty at this point. Don't want him to pressure us out too much, especially because blue buff is about to be back up. Could have maybe lost our blue here, so maybe in retrospect, maybe should have just taken our L and backed with the tier 2 item. But since Pele is pretty strong and they weren't really ever posturing for that blue buff, I am able to get it and TP back in with full Sov here, so that's good. So this is where it feels real good as Arthur against Bologna. I mean, once she has her... Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. Once she has her Berserkers and you have Sov, it's basically just a stalemate lane. It does not matter at all. But I just personally think that Arthur just... He doesn't get better as the game goes on, because he's strong at most points, but he actually has a good late game. And if you just use your blinks well and all that, then you're going to be pretty strong. So she actually hasn't backed and TP'd in yet. She's being a little bit greedy with her back, so I'm going to try and poke her out before she actually has her power spike, because I have my power spike over her. And because we get her pretty low, we can maybe even tower dive here with a Pele coming over. I get enough for my charge to get my stun, so I stun her, force her ult, and then just tank the tower enough for my teammate to get the first blood. And that's a huge win. That's a first blood on the map for us, which is really, really good. I actually didn't play that well. What I could have done after this ult is I should have 3'd right here, and then 3'd again, and then use my blue on her, my blue 2 on her, because that slows her. So we were able to hit her stun, and you know, but I just needed 3 towards her so I can actually hit my slow. So now he's stuck behind the tower. We see them coming over on the map. I get the minions. I push the way so that we have minions in tower to see if he can walk through it. He isn't able to right yet. He is able to now, but he goes back for the blue buff. They end up missing their Osiris ult. We have we have meditation, so we kind of use that to try and get out. I'm unstoppable here, though, guys. I have sovereignty, and none of these guys can kill me because of that. So I'm just trying to get Scream out here. So basically, I'm just running at this Osiris to make sure he doesn't go towards my teammate. We're able to hit him with a few abilities, poke him out pretty hard, and get enough back for our charge ult. So honestly, clean by us. And we're able to get their Scorpion off of it because Osiris can't be there. So huge win on the map. First blood, able to get out from diving their tier 1 and get their Scorpion. So pretty big wins. Nakana, thanks for the 3 months in a row. Welcome back to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that. I have a bunch of pots, so I don't mind staying around and clearing. Still have my charge ult. Sovereignty as well gives me enough HP 5, so if I just have a pot and Sov going, I'll get back up in no time. Unfortunately, Mike gets picked here. They kind of just chase him down. Yo, Cyber, thank you so much for the 17 months in a row. Welcome back to the Fonzo family. So another pause. Basically, you always want to farm up for a power spike and take your backs for a reason. Probably the next back I'll take is to just heal, because I don't have any health pots, so I want to get those refreshed. And get tier 2 glads, since it's going to take a while for me to actually get to my full glad. So I'll probably just push this wave and then back. But Totem is up, and I want to try and contest that. Don't mind fighting both of these guys for it. They can't really ever kill me. But they're just going to out DPS me on it. I'm not just going to sit there and hit it in front of them. So I just want to try and get enough pressure on a wave where I can actually get my back off and get tier 2 glads. I look to rotate mid here. Because we're calling for a fight and my wave is cleared. I get the cup along the way because those are important. And it also gives you movement speed to make a rotation. So just matching the rotation for Bologna here. We are able to kill the Chiron, which is huge. But we're able to kill the Chiron, but we're just going to go back to our lane because nothing's happening. So even though I ran out of pots and I was a little bit poked, this laning phase has been pretty slow, and Bologna's not really poking me out that much that I didn't really ever need to back. So I just let them have that totem because I'm still not really that strong. I kind of just want to farm, get my blue, and then probably get one more wave and TP back in with Glad Shield. Once you have Glad Shield plus Sovereignty, you are truly unstoppable. That's when you get, not only are you unstoppable, but you're actually like strong. You can actually fight. Like Tanjiro after you learn fire breathing. So, yo, Lone, thanks so much for Prime Sub. Welcome to the Fonzo family. I appreciate it. So we're super close to Glad Shield. We have it now. We're also able to get the Gold Fury off of that. Not actually sure why we did gold. I think we just ripped it because we have super good wards on this side of the map. Yeah, we have really good wards. We see Chiron on mid, and we just all in it and get it and probably secure it with Mural. Oh, it looks like we didn't. It was just kind of sketchy. Trade 1 for 1 and get gold, so that's really good. But I'm going to TP back in with Glad Shield, and we'll be feeling really good. The thing about my 2-item Power Spike versus Bellona's 2-item Power Spike is if she goes Berserker's Sovereignty, she's pretty freaking unkillable, but she's really not that strong. Like, she doesn't do a lot of damage. Whereas when Arthur has Sovereignty plus Glad Shield, he's unkillable, but he also does a shit ton of damage because he has a million abilities that are all proccing Glad Shield. She doesn't have her Sovereignty yet, so I go on her because it's really simple, guys. It's a formula. It's tried and true. When you have a Power Spike over somebody, you abuse it. So we get her pretty low here. I actually almost soloed her. Get her to 1 HP. I tried to auto here. If I actually like lunged at her and hit my auto, I might have got my charge ult back and maybe could have killed her. Would have taken her in the air and she would have lived with 1 HP probably. I just mess with her here to stop her back, try and maybe force a rotation over. Kabrakan starts coming over and Osiris is hovering, so I decide to just let her back and chill. So with that pressure that I'm able to gain from that, from using my power play, using my power spike, it's so simple. We force her back, and I out-clear, and I rotate into the jungle because I have a power play. And because we have a power play, and I have pressure over them, we're able to turn ult. Okay, max turn ults to right to go for a solo kill. But because we get that pressure and we have enough time, we're able to do a pyro. It's that simple, guys. It's really that simple. Now all I really want to do here is peel for my teammates to make sure they can get out because they're going to try and chase us out after the pyro and look for kills. But I'm really strong. I can't really die to these guys, so I just want to try and keep my boys alive. Unfortunately, Mike does die. He's the Emir at the end of the day. That's just going to happen. Scream gets out barely. If he had died here, that would have been really bad for us. A 2-for-1 or a 2-for-0 and pyro, or us getting pyro and them getting 2 kills really isn't that great. So, but thankfully he's able to get out, and Daniel hits a sick root here, and I try to go for the 2-man stun, but it gets stunned out, and that be that. That be that. Don't really want to chase him out. It's fine. We'll take our win. They decide to group up and go solo side together. Probably just get a totem, do whatever. But get our blue again. So you can see she has Berserkers and Sovereignty, and I have Sovereignty and Glad Shield. Like I said, it's much stronger for me to have those items, but trying to hit her plus the wave when I can, and we were able to. Don't really want to waste my charge ult here just because I'm pretty low mana. I don't see where they are on the map when I have that charge ult up for a gank if I need it. Go ahead and back for tier 2 Genjis just because that'll solve all of our mana problems, because in Smite, you buy 1 item and your mana pool no longer exists. You can just click your buttons. Go back to our wave to clear. No TP up. Getting our back camps on cooldown when we can, especially when our jungler is in right side of the map. They look for a play in right. Don't really remember what happens. I think they get chased out. Yeah, they get chased out and 2 of them die. Don't really remember what that was for, but we just got 2-for-0'd. Nothing. Didn't get anything off the map from it. No power play to be had elsewhere. Usually when like something like that happens, you try and look for the other side of the map to see if you can like invade a jungle or, you know, get a proxy off because their jungler isn't there, but nothing really happened. Make sure Scream gets credit for the blue. Yo, Goopy Sonic, thanks for 3 months in a row. Welcome back to the Ponzo family. Much appreciated. This is the last game. Awkward. So we group up the wave by 3ing her and then running past her. TP's back up and we have full Genji, so we'll probably just back for that. I run up here just to hide from her so she doesn't throw her like 3 at me to stop my back. My TP is up, so whenever your TP is up, you can kind of like call for your teammates, see if there's something you can bait, start a fight, but we just TP back left. Sometimes it's just better to TP back to your lane, run and clear the wave at tower line so your wave is pushed and you're getting that farm, and then just rotating over with that pressure. So that's exactly what we do. TP back, get the wave at the tower line, and then run over. Bellona's still under her tower. We see her on the map, so we can decide to do something. And with that power play, we're able to get a Scorpion. And I can also just look for a play because I have Blink ult here, Blink charge ult. So we're able to get the Morbius sweep, get both Scorpions here, except they come to contest. I'm unstoppable here. It's really strong for me to just kind of bait a fight. Just waiting for the boys to come over. They do the Scorpion. I just buy a little bit of space so that we can get the Scorpion. They decide to go on me here, which I was a little bit surprised by. I mean, they do poke me a little bit, but I just take the Osiris into the air so his tether doesn't stun me. We get a lot of damage on him. I have a maxed out 3, so I can chase him really hard here and do a ton of damage. He ults away. We have the turn ult coming over as well. I'm just chasing this guy out all day. As R3, you're always going to have like some form of CC available. I have my charge ult, or not my charge ult, my dab, my jab, whatever you want to call it. And we're able to get the kill off it. We force the Osiris ult, his beads, and kill him. So that was really good by us. Didn't even need to use my jab there. He was just dead. Kind of fucking one-shot him. So we pressure out the tower now that we have a turn here. I don't mind hitting this Bologna a little bit just because I want to get my charge back up so I can get a stun. That's her ult. She ults away. And we're able to get the tower off of it. Chiron's actually here, which is a little bit sketchy. And right here we're saying just get out because we got a tier 1. We're kind of chilling. I thought we might be able to fight here. But what ended up happening was Freya made a rotation because that's just what Netroid does. He just shows up. He's a psycho. It actually wasn't going that bad. We were probably going to kill the Bologna and maybe even win the fight. But then, of course, Freya is here. And the only reason they are fighting it like that, the only reason they're making it seem like we can win that fight is because the Freya is coming. So good baits by them, honestly. I end up dying for it. But as long as my teammates are able to get out alive, we're cool with that trade. Freya is able to make the late rotation there. Yeah, he's ulting over his turn, though, Zuba. So out of base, we're feeling pretty strong. We're still up like 2k. I have a tier 2 Mail Renewal here. I'm going Mail Renewal this game once again because it's hard for them to get an anti-heal. They can't get a Divine. Freya will never go it. Kabrakan may go it. Might be hard. And then they're only really going to go like a Toxic Blade. Maybe a Brawlers on Chiron. I think he probably ends up going Brawlers, but not really that big of a deal. So we kind of look to pull the Gold Fury here, but they engage on us in mid lane. My Blink is up, so I just kind of want to be threatening on a backline with my Blink here to either keep them away or to look to go for a fight. So I blink in. Not able to hit my my knockup, but the Freya does beads there. And because we bought a little bit of space, Daniel's able to get a a nice ult on their backline and hit Bologna and kill them. I think they got Chiron beads and Freya beads there, so not too bad. So not the greatest by me because I actually didn't connect with the knockup, but the Freya ended up beadsing anyway, so we'll take it, I guess. And with that little bit of a power play that we had, we got a little bit of room. It's a 5v4. We're able to do the Gold Fury, which is what we were trying to do originally. They try and steal it with Chiron ult, but it's no big deal. I just go ahead and use my TP. There's no reason not to. We just got the Gold Fury off the map. Nothing to really fight over there for. So I just TP left to make sure I defend this tier 1 from Osiris and not let him free farm. They go for a mid tier 1. Just kind of a tit for tat right now. Good teams going at it. We get a Gold Fury. They bounce back, try and go for a mid tower. They are able to get the mid tower and kill Mike, but they take a lot of damage here and are pretty poked. So I rotate over, am able to get my jab onto Freya. We kill the Kraken in the meantime while the Freya is busy with me. Force out her ult. And that's basically that. We were looking to maybe keep going because my jab was coming back up, but we'll just go ahead and chill. We don't mind killing the Kraken there. They get a tower. Now we're up about 3k, and yeah. Just trying to farm to my Mail of Renewal. Notice that I'm pretty close, so if I can get like back camps in blue, I'll be chilling. And when I come back in with Mail of Renewal, I'll be freaking feeling good. Boot camp, please. Have I been up here this whole time? My bad, guys. So yeah. Did I not pick up the blue? Yo, did I just walk through it? Do you guys see that? Oh, it's because I had green buff. That's why. I do go back and pick it up, and then I back and get my Mail of Renewal. Making sure we still farm. A lot of times, I think a lot of like newer players or intermediate players, they get lost at this point in the game, and they stop pushing their waves, and they stop getting their farm, which is really bad when you're playing a character that really wants to get to their bluestone. So it's still really important to make sure you're pushing waves and getting your farm when you can. Because if you just kind of get stuck in this like limbo spot where you're never getting your waves pushed and you're just never getting to that level 20, you're stuck at 16, 17, 18, it's going to be feeling really bad. Not only because levels on tanks is really good because it gives you a lot of base stats, but also because if you can get to your upgrade, it's very important. So they get a pyro here. I push that left way and then start rotating over. Team is able to force out Freya ult. This is just the go button for me. If a Freya is just ulting at the start of a fight, I'm just going to go in and blink in and get a nice Yuhong ult on her. Chase her out. Thankfully, we Phantom Shell before we got in there. Bologna ults me to try and peel, to run away. We're able to kill Kabrakan in the front line. Mike dives with me, but he just gets absolutely one-shot here. If I was the one actually like tanking that, maybe I could have tanked more than him. But since Freya ult is down, I just still go in here and able to get a charge ult on her, and we're able to chase her out and kill her. So obviously just diving because it's going to be good because Freya ulted really early in the fight, but maybe just got a little bit overzealous because there are 4 people hitting us, and they do a lot of damage with their comp. Like there are 4 auto attackers just slamming us. I think at some point somebody got a Witchblade, which helps a little bit, but Midgardian could have been okay as well this game, but they don't really have like, they're not like Kali or Erlang where their character has to like stay on top of you to hit you. That's usually where I like to go Midgardian. Witchblade's maybe a little bit better against this comp. Osiris really isn't going to be hitting me in the team fights. That's why Midgardian isn't as good. So gold's coming back up, so that's just going to be the next play for us. Just kind of get my charge. I'm not really ever trying to like poke this Bologna out or anything. I'm literally just hitting her so I can get some charge for my my charge ult and get my jab at least. So we're just hitting each other on the way. Then I have my charge ult. Look how easy it was for me to get my charge ult there. That's why I always say seek out like a tank in the late game that's just like hitting you in the front lines and just hit them a little bit. I went from having about a quarter of my charge to all the way to max charge just by hitting Bologna a bunch. And now I feel really good because the only weakness of Arthur in the entire game is when you're running around with no charge, especially after you die. So they're able to pull a Gold Fury because they ganked right and got a bit of pressure off of that. And they pull this bad boy. I have 2 people in base. So I'm just kind of hovering, kind of making it a little bit more awkward for them to maybe do this. Maybe have to worry about a steal. Maybe worry about us to actually contesting. We're not really trying to fight or contest this because our teammates aren't here. So they are able to get it. Maybe if we steal that, whatever. But since they used a bit there and are a little bit poked, we look for a play. Are able to force out the Bologna ult with a wall. And that's the go button for us. They have no Bologna ult now. They're a little bit weaker. And we still have a decent lead. So we're trying to be the proactive ones here. I see Chiron on this ward at the blue buff. I see him over the rock. I tell my team, I basically count it down. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get on this Chiron. Let's go in. So I'm able to blink auto cancel over the wall, get a little bit closer into a knockup. Like I said in the last video when I was playing Arthur, I usually like to lead with the knockup because a lot of times they'll beads that. And if they don't, you can just take them to the air right away like this. His beads are actually down here. I'm pretty sure that's what the whole reason we were doing this was. No beads on him. And then Daniel gets a sick Yuwang ult onto him and kills him. To be fair, guys, that was a sick ult by Daniel, but maybe if my team just followed up a little bit better off of my ult, we wouldn't have needed it, but nonetheless, still good shit by Daniel. And that's just a free pick, and it's just off of a blink play as Arthur. And the blink plays as Arthur can literally win you the game. That's why I don't like going beads on him. So, with that power play, their guy's dead. We're just going to try and bait the fire now. This Freya is basically frontlining for them. So we just get on her now because she played up to try and contest fire. We're never really even trying to full do that unless they don't show up. And because they do show up, we just kill this Freya. Good wall by Mike here. Look how sad this is. So I'm chasing out this Freya. She does heal a lot if she turns on me here. I'm really close to my charge ult. Look how close I am. I hit every ability on her. I auto her once again, and I barely don't get it. I need another auto, and I get my charge ult. Unfortunately, it's still just a jab. But either way, I just need to use my jab or my ult there because I don't want to just die to her. She's healing a lot, and she started to get peeled. So unfortunately, we weren't able to kill her. If we got our charge ult there, she would have died. But nonetheless, still good. So because we got 2 kills and we have a wave here, we just decided to go for this tower. This is a really big mistake by them. At this point, we're just going back and forth. And again, like it's just tit for tat, like 2 good teams going at it. But because they play up on this tower and I still have my jab, I just 3 towards them and get a double stun. Into a knockup. Into a 1 and they just die. So they kind of like soft defended that, which was really wasn't that great. And since I had my jab, I was just communicating to my team, let's just go on these guys in like 3, 2, 1. And get a double stun into 2 kills. And that was really big. So even though we killed 2 of them in the fight, it really wasn't that bad for them because we couldn't threaten fire all that much without having Turn alive because Max died. So if they had just chilled there and given up that tier 2, they probably could have come back to fire and contested. But yeah, once again, got tier 2 talisman now. Pretty dang tanky. I have my charge ult up, so I'm pretty strong to zone here. And if they do come up, I can let them know. Bologna's TPing in. I let my teammates know that. Peel back because the fire is getting really low. Get a bit poked out there. Probably not the best play by me, but we got a Male Renewal proc. Just trying to zone the boys from walking in. Able to get the Fire Giant. Maybe a bit sketchy because they could have definitely stolen that. Probably, in retrospect, could have played that better. Probably should have just not gotten poked out so hard. Been a little bit closer to my team. And then when they did get close, at least taken somebody into the air. If I had taken somebody in the air, it would have been harder for them to steal fire. But we just blink in to get in a little bit closer. Try and chase out this Freya. Kerbrakan does a really good job of healing, but because Bologna's kind of caught in no man's zone here, we just kind of kill her instead since they're all running away and peeling. So we get the Fire Giant, kill 2 people. I call for a TP play. They give up the Phoenix. Nothing really happens for my TP. If we could have gotten another kill there, we definitely could have ended the game. But since they played smart and played back, and I couldn't do anything with the TP, we just end up chilling. So another sick play by Daniel. So right here, we don't really want to just like all in this Phoenix for the most part. It's just going to be a little bit sketchy. So we're just kind of seeing what will happen basically. And Daniel ends up getting like a really good Yuang ult here. So I chase in, get a nice knock up into ult. Didn't really maybe need to ult, but I wanted to make sure that she didn't use her ult, you know. So we were able to kill off that. I call that I have another stun, and my teammates follow up off of it, and that's a kill on the Kabrakan. The Phoenix actually still pretty healthy, but I just tanked like 10 tower shots, and we're still chilling. So just make sure we kill the Phoenix, and I'm telling my team I'm unkillable here, no problem. I'm just going to keep messing with them, keep jerking them off as I do. And now we have 2 Phoenixes down. We're getting all the buffs off the map, getting all the gold off the map, and we're in a pretty good spot. Going to do gold, get that off the map, get an obelisk, so we have Trap for pushing. Don't even need to actually send it. We're just too far ahead that matters. And once again, getting in the Nook. I TP back in. I have Heroic Teleport, so I'm slow immunity and prots here. So I'm just getting in the Nook, getting a little bit of charge. Once again, I have my charge ult up, a blink charge ult, and I'm just kind of being a nuisance in this middle ground. Bellona actually does have her upgrade, Death Embrace, so she's not really that bad at helping or at defending against me, because she's just going to full heal off of me because I'm a tank. But I don't really mind. She really does no damage to me, and I have Mill Renewal plus FG. I actually don't have FG anymore, but I have HP 5 from everything. Just poking a little bit onto Bellona. Get a nice one on both their carries here, who both of them come over, so we're able to get a little bit more pressure on the Phoenix on the right side. And now that the Bellona left, I am going to go for a blink ult. I am able to hit Freya, force her beads out. Kabrakan does a good job of peeling. My Bulwark procs, and I get a meditation, I believe, used on me. Maybe not. Maybe I was just healing. But we were able to force Freya beads and ult there, so that's really strong. They also use Chiron ult to chase out Sprack and left, so they don't really have key abilities here. Bellona ults in, we're able to peel off that, and they basically just have to go in here. They're just going to lose the game because of fire minions and all that. So they go for a last-ditch effort to go for a fight. I am able to hit a Freya with a 1. I'm just kind of playing in between here. What I should really be doing is trying to get in front of these abilities. They actually whooped Max and Ymir here, or Mike, which was not a good whoop. And I also had a really bad stun here. I didn't hit either of them. Sadly, they like both sidestepped to the right, and I didn't hit them at like max range. So I just try and get in there, try and make a little bit of room, hit the Chiron and the Freya with my 3, and basically my team just did everything that fight. This was probably like the one fight where I basically did nothing. But either way, it's just kind of sketchy for them because they have fire minions on their Titan, and they kind of have to make some play. And Daniel just gets another good Yuhang ult off, because why not? And I taunt because they taunted us after the end of game 3. And you know, just gotta get a little bit of taunts in there, but Chiron beats there when I blink ulted on the right Phoenix as well, right? Did he like panic beats? Did you think I was hitting him? And yeah, and that was game 5. Basically, pretty simple, honestly. Lots of just playing off of pressure, just doing my job in the fights, looking for a blink initiation when I can, especially for somebody that's out of position. And, you know, if we're in a spot where we're not really trying to full dive, just kind of trying to play in that in-between area, absorb damage. And yeah, that's basically it. There it is. There it is. That was the finals.